Look, I come in the house for supper. Barb's jamming to Ario. See? It's not just me and the tractor. And look, the cat's jamming. Alright, I'll save you from me singing. Good Sunday morning, June 29th. It's a little before 7. As you can tell, I am in golf attire, waiting for my buddy, who's not supposed to be here for at least another half hour, 45 minutes, but I went to bed at 9:15 last night because my ass was whooped. I was tired, I was sore, and that made me, instead of getting up at 5:30 like I normally do without an alarm, get up at like 4:15, between 4:15 and 4:30. So I just finally said piss on it and came out to the shop. But so anyways, yeah, down to less than 50 acres of that. Oh, and I'm in my golf attire because the last Sunday of June for the last God knows how many years, I've been in the same golf tournament with these guys, so I'm doing it again this year. Corn is all sprayed. Anhydrous is almost all done. Like I said, down to less than 50 acres. I know, I haven't been taking you with me all the time, but it's kind of nice to put the camera down now and then. I'll start spraying beans next week. I looked in the book, started planting beans June 2nd, finished planting beans June 8th. So my overall goal every year is to be done planting by June 5th. So we actually did quite well, considering the first 10 days of June was our best weather of the spring. But the corn is starting to come out and look like that just got anhydrous like yesterday. So you can see a few burn spots where, you know, you hit a rock and it leaks, and some of it's still got a yellow tint to it here and there, but yeah, you'll notice that's looking nice and green. That piece over behind my house in the barn is looking nice and green. The corn that where the anhydrous is, you know, starting to tickle the roots now is really starting to turn around and look pretty good. So yeah, I'm liking our crop a little more, let's put it that way. All right, golf update. It's 4:15. I'm home. They had 2 flights, flight A, flight B. We were in flight A. We finished 9 under, second place. We lost by 1 stroke. First place team was 10 under. So, but we still made some money being second. Last year we won the thing at 13 under. We missed too many putts that were 10 foot and under today. But now I'm going to the house because I told myself I was not going to come home and work, and I'm sticking to it. All right, down to the mountain farm. Doing napalm. Yeah, I wasn't filming while I was doing that because it's just not fun to, you know, be up there and try and film. So this corn was planted June 3rd. It don't look half bad for corn planted June 3rd. This is that 89-day corn that did real well for me last year. Had the best test weight. So we'll see how it turns out now that we're putting the anhydrous on. Once that starts tickling the roots a little, it'll shoot right up. But yes, I'm gonna say it, chance of rain tonight into tomorrow. We need it. But I know you get tired of hearing it. But like I said, sorry if I spin you around too fast. We go from getting 2 months worth of rain in the month of May, which delayed everything, to getting not even a half a month's worth of rain so far in the month of June, and today is June 30th. So June is over today at the end of the day. Yeah, I think I'm at like 1.5 or 1.6 inches of rain for June. It's crazy, but and it's going to be 90 again today with heat indexes up near 100. But so I guess it's a good thing we got the subsoil moisture that we got right now. But yeah, we need some rain. All right, so this year I decided to come back to refill, blah blah blah. But here's what happens. See, my knives are pretty much wore out. And then the tube kicks out. So it's not blowing straight down like that one still is. And the end one still is. So I've got about, I don't know, I'm in the middle field down there. Less than 10 acres. But I got no knives left. Will those still seal if you bury it? I mean, you got to really bury it, but I'm going to refill it, and I'm just not going to go down. I got about a 10-day window left, probably, before the corn gets too big. And I'm out of knives because the knives they sent me this year, that set of knives right there are from like 2 years ago. I probably got 70 acres out of those. Generally, on a year when the ground's not quite so hard, because of being a wet spring, I normally can get 80, maybe even a little more than 80. So those wore out quicker than normal. But the other ones that I was using that they got me last year, shit, I was getting 100, between 100 and 120 out of them. But they didn't send me those this year. They sent me a different set. And I barely got 50 acres out of those. So now I have a set, the good ones that get over 100, that are supposed to be, I hope, get here this week, like Wednesday or Thursday, because Friday is Independence Day, which, by the way, I'll do my quick little, minute rant on that the 4th of July is a date on the calendar. We don't say Merry 25th of December. We don't say Happy New January 1st. Independence Day means something. It's not the 4th of July. That's the date it falls on. And I'm sure there'll be people in this video that'll not get this far and say, oh, happy 4th of July, Andy, whether this comes out before, that day, after, I don't know when it's coming out. But it's why you blue-haired freaks can be the freaks you are and, protest and free Palestine, and now your new protest is Iran. Yeah, the country that says death to America, but that's your new mantra, Iran. So, all right, I'm going to refill my applicator, and I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go down and try and do that last 8 acres on that farm with those two, because if those pipes completely break out, if that beaver tail breaks off, then it's just going to be shitting it right up in the air. That's not good. We're going to call it 1.3 inches of rain last night. The line was between, but I rounded down. So, but boy, that really made the corn perk up already this morning. Nice and green. Rows are just about completely closed now, so we're almost to canopy on some of the earlier stuff. So, and it's like dew point still in the mid 70s this morning, and the temperature's in the 70s. It's hot and muggy, so yeah, we needed that rain. I'm not going to walk up the road to this very first piece that I planted, but I'll walk you over here, the other side of the tractors here, where you can see. Yeah, she's where the corn is tickling the anhydrous. That rain is really going to make things jump. So it's July 1st, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. You probably could figure that out when I said that rain gave us, jumped us up to a total of like 2.9 for June. So happy July. Anyways, I wanted to talk about, well, it's not sitting here, obviously. The sprayer, when I had it over here, and we had the pump on the floor right here doing the rebuild kit. And I don't remember your name. I forgot to write it down. Actually, I just didn't bother to write it down because I didn't think about it until now. But I think your name was Brian. But anyways, you left a comment on the video about, I think you said you were a mechanic for a Case IH dealer. And when you need parts for yourself, you get them for just over cost. But you were talking about the ridiculous amount of markups, and you said some things 100%. I agree. And I don't know if I've told this story before on this channel, but I'm going to tell it again anyhow. So if you've heard it before, plug your ears or come back in a few minutes. So I won't use names, but a person who used to be a co-owner of a local John Deere dealership became an farm insurance agent. We had our insurance through that company. Long story short, one time when he was here for scrap paper, writing shit down that he left me numbers on the back side of it was, and you know, I've dealt with John Deere for years, it was a parts list of stuff like RE numbers, you know, AL numbers. Those of you who buy John Deere stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Part numbers that start with RE, AL, so forth, so forth. And what it was a paper about how it showed the cost of the part to the dealership. There was like 3 or 4 columns. I don't remember what they all were for, but it like showed the part, what the part cost, what the dealer paid for it, what the suggested, you know, discount is to the farmer, and basically what you should charge the farmer. And it was mind-numbing. Get out of here, bugs. Mind-numbing, the markup on a lot of this stuff. I mean, little tiny shit that was like a bolt, let's say, that was $2 was $4. You know, there was some stuff that didn't have a huge markup on it, but there was other stuff that, like this guy said, was 100%. So, and like I said, that little cute box from Hardy being $800, no. But to go with that story, fucking punkies, you know, I've been selling corn lately, and we had one variety of corn we planted last year that it yielded good. It's just the test weight sucked. Test weight was running between 52 and 53 pounds. So the ethanol plant, Medina, for that certain test weight, because there's a scale, I was getting docked like 4 cents a bushel. So if I sold the load for $4.44 a bushel, picked up here at the farm, I ended up with $4.40 a bushel. Pretty simple math. I probably didn't have to do that for you. But so anyways, all of a sudden our basis here, because everybody's realizing New York's going to be short on corn because of all the prevent plant and the late stuff, all of a sudden our basis, like for me, went from like a minus 30 picked up at the farm, which for you non-farmers, what that means, I will do the math for this one for you. If you're getting $4.30 a bushel, you're getting $4 a bushel, because they're taking 30 cents off to come pick your corn up and take it to wherever it's going. But now all of a sudden it's a complete reversal. Now it's like a plus 30. So if it's 430 on the board, you're getting 460, because they're, you know, realizing, hey, New York's going to be short of corn. But the ethanol plant, now all of a sudden, that same corn that I was getting docked 4 cents a bushel is 14 cents a bushel. So, and like Vomitox and all the other shit that they deduct for, all of a sudden deductions have all gone up at least a dime, because, you know, they need to recoup some of their extra costs. The point and moral to the story is, like I've said before, totem pole, we're at the bottom. Everyone above us, their business plan is to make as much money as they did last year or more, which is a great business plan. Don't get me wrong. But how much more can be dumped on the bottom of the totem pole when without us, and this ain't fucking whining for you guys, oh, you farmers, you fucking whine, grumpy farmer whines. No, without us, there is none of you above us. I mean, I remember back when, you know, labor rates, when you'd have to call the dealership to come out and fix something, was 40, 50 bucks an hour. I get it. Everything's more expensive now. You know, you're paying your help more. I'm sure the health insurance, you know, the cost of the vehicles, everything. But now it's $140 an hour or more in some instances. A lot of dealerships don't carry parts. hardly any parts in stock because they say it's, it costs too much to carry in stock. So if you break something, yeah, they can probably have it in 4 to 5 days. If you need it immediately, well, we'll overnight ship it for you. Who do you think pays the overnight shipping? And a lot of times, if it doesn't get overnight shipped right to the dealership, if it goes to a UPS, landing site, like here would be Syracuse in Onondaga County next to us, it might be the day after that before it actually gets to the dealership. So you paid for overnight shipping that actually ended up being 2-day shipping for a part that you really needed to get going again. I mean, I get it. I get the concept of, well, we need to, things cost more. We need to. I'm not saying these places above us on the totem pole should lose money, but fuck me. When you're, if you're still profitable, making what you did last year or even a little less, how about you make sure the people that are down here at the bottom of the totem pole, that without us, there would be no need for you to start with, are fucking profitable at least. I mean, that's the part that something, I don't know what, I don't have the answers. I'm just stating the facts, especially for you non-farmers, so you understand something's got to change. That little motherfucking box the other day, because it still pisses me off, should not be $800. Absolute. All right, so right in the middle of my sentence, the GoPro died. I was saying absolutely, and it died. I said absolutely not. That shouldn't cost $800. But hey, like I said, I don't know the answer. I don't know what's, here's another dilemma, because I'll probably just end this video. So here's your one more thing. It'll be kind of a two more thing together. How's that sound? First of all, don't forget I'm a Grumpy Farmer, don't forget about the Grumpy Farmer apparel link. For those of you who have asked me, I don't know how to get on that. Okay, push the more. Oh God, you're shitty looking. Hang on. Yeah, just put oil in a gearbox, so I got oil on the screen. There, that's a little better. Push the word more, that's like just to the right of the title, and that'll take you to where you can see that, the Grumpy Farmer apparel link, but whatever. So here's your actual one more thing, because I got thinking about this. The average age of farmers today is 58 years old. So people today aren't having the kids that they used to have. That was Chuck Schumer's thing about bringing the illegals in. We're not restocking our population. We need all these illegals. Yeah, you need them for votes. And yes, I haven't been doing the greatest with my quitting smoking, so hate me for it if you'd like. But anyways, so if the average age of farmers is 58 and growing, because it was like 57 a few years ago, I was one of 4 kids. Barb was one of 10 kids. Barb and I had 1 kid, Chelsea. Doesn't want anything to do with the farm. That's great. So if a farm kid is growing up and he's seeing his buddies that he graduates from high school with, getting good jobs, going to college, getting good jobs, even getting good jobs without going to college, because you don't need to go to college, get a good job, getting benefits, vacation time, having their weekends off, and then they look at their parents going, why the fuck do I want to struggle like they did for all these years, dealing with the weather and everything that I've just discussed in this video? So in 30, 40 years, when I won't be here, so it won't affect me, but if the younger generation doesn't take over farms and get into farming, who's going to milk the cows? Who's going to plant the crops? Who's going to do the farm work? I guess Chuck Schumer's right. We're going to need all the illegals for that shit, right? I mean, why would you want to get into a profession that, a couple years, 2 out of 10 years, like, not too long ago, back when the drought of 2012 there, we saw $6 plus corn, $15 plus, so it was great. And you know what most farmers did with the money they made? They put it back into the economy by upgrading equipment and maybe building more facilities or whatever. So when farmers make money, I'm not saying they spend it all, don't get me wrong, but when farmers make money, they help the economy. So I don't know. I don't get it. I think there's going to be, one, a shortage of farmers in the future, and two, there's a lot of politicians and elites that don't give two shits about that ground over there, you know? And that's the one thing they'll never make again, ground. They'll never make farmland again. So when you start plopping houses, windmills, solar panels, whatever on it, it's gone. So, and for those of you, you know, you haters that like to come on here, we'll get our food from other countries. Whatever. Go for it. You know, I'm sure that's what you'll say. Me, M-E. Me with his picture of his fat face because he doesn't look like he has missed a meal. Me says humans, so he'll be the dipshit for this month, or this video, I guess. He says humans were not designed to consume cow milk. Yeah, so we can do without you dairy farmers, basically, is what me is saying. Yep. We humans apparently don't need to consume milk. I guess we don't need to consume any butter, cheese, ice cream, cream in your coffee, whatever. Because according to me, we were not designed to consume dairy products. Okay, well, that's a lot of the food chain that's now gone bye-bye. So I don't know what you're going to replace it with. I guess if we're making artificial meat out of plants and shit, you know, the Impossible Burger or whatever it was fucking called at Burger King. I don't even know if they still have it. I guess we can make the Impossible pound of butter or the Impossible half a gallon of milk, or I don't know. And this is why some of you have left comments saying, oh, farmers never retire. You won't retire. Yes, I will. I will guarantee you, I will bet you any amount of money you want to bet that I will fucking retire someday. Because ask most farmers that are getting up there in age, it ain't fun anymore. So it ain't fun being told what to do. This is what we're going to pay you. Shut the fuck up and deal with it. Oh yeah, and this is what you're going to pay for everything that you need. Shut the fuck up and deal with it, because everybody above you needs to make as much as they did last year or more, because that's today's business plan. So happy Independence Day, whether you see this before, maybe on that day, maybe after, whatever. Again, remember, July 4th is a date on the calendar.